NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real, jumping like hopscotch. Nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. My people at.
Hey, well, good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. How are you? Nathan Ivey with you, and as always, prepared to deliver superlative flows on people, politics, and pleasure. You already know how it goes. One man, one microphone, one mission. I flow, therefore I am. All of that still in effect. Good morning to you. On today's show, numerous things we might discuss. But I want to start the show off talking about one thing in particular. So Ryan Coogler is a big time, that's a terrible picture of him, but Ryan Coogler is a big time Hollywood movie making director. He might have directed something that you've seen before. He directed a little movie called Black Panther. How many people have seen Black Panther? Where does Black Panther rate in your all-time greatest movies of all time list? Is that a black movie? I think that's a black movie. That's a black movie. He's coming back. Actually, he's going to be the director behind Wakanda Forever, which everybody's waiting for. Matter of fact, they're shooting it or doing pre-production, I believe, down in Atlanta right now. And he recently had a run-in with the police. Black man and police, never-ending story. But what led up to that is what is worthy of our conversation this morning, and then I want to get your particular opinion about the actions of one of the workers involved. So Ryan Coogler goes into the bank where he is banking. He's got an account. He had on just some shades and a mask and a sweatshirt. And he was trying to withdraw I think what most people would call a large sum of money. And allegedly the money was for somebody who works for him. He pays him in cash. And he slipped the bank teller, who happens to be a black woman who was pregnant, by the way, and maybe that factors into her decision-making on some levels. All them hormones swimming through her brain and all that, or just feeling them mommy vibes, I don't know. But he handed her his account information. He had his ID. And he gave her a note that read, hey, listen, I want to get $12,000 out. Be discreet. He later, or after this whole incident happened, Ryan Coogler said that the reason why he wrote that note is because, it's $12,000. He didn't want the people around him or to know how much money he was rolling with. Maybe he was feeling insecure. Maybe he didn't want to get mugged. Maybe he was afraid of being a victim of crime. And some might say that he ended up being victimized himself. So the black bank teller, she received the note, and as she said in later released video, that she felt nervous. She felt nervous. Large sum of money. This man is saying be discreet. She felt like maybe it was a holdup. So what did she do? She called the boys. The boys showed up, walked up behind them. Video's out there. I've got a clip I'll show for you in a second. And when the boys show up, hey, good morning to you. When the boys show up, one of them, they that's how police are trained to do. Like they'll sneak up on you. And basically that's what they did with him. They snuck up on him. One dude was behind him. The other was to the side. And the officer closest to him actually had his hand and it looked like he drew his weapon, if I remember correctly. Like, what? We ain't even having a conversation. You about to draw down on me? So they put him in handcuffs, take him outside. There's two people in his vehicle, his associates. They put them in handcuffs as well as they sort everything out. Police love to do that. They love to do that. That's what they're trained to do, I guess. As it turns out, Mr. Ryan Coogler was not trying to rob the bank. And he had an account, probably with thousands of dollars in there. And some are saying that the bank teller overreacted. I'd like to know what you think. Now, Ryan Coogler, if you Google his name this morning, it's all kinds of damn articles everywhere. And so you can readily check it out for yourself if you haven't already heard of it. But something tells me you probably heard about this before. Down in Atlanta, detained for being a bank robber because he wrote a note saying be discreet. Now, are there any bank tellers in the house? Because maybe, and again, this hasn't come out, and that tells me it probably isn't in place, but maybe the bank has a policy that if you get any kind of written letter or anything and you feel any kind of way about it, then you got to, maybe look at it as if it's suspicious. But what begs the question is if Ryan Coogler was a white man, same circumstances, would she have felt insecure? Would she have felt, or is this just he's just eccentric? Or would she thought automatically in this hypothetical situation that the white man was trying to rob the bank as well? Who robs a bank with banking accounts, like in an ID? Has that ever been done in history before, where you rob a bank but you give them your ID and your banking account information at that bank? Fact of the matter is, to me, it seems as if she didn't do her due diligence. She just automatically went there instead of really checking his ID and looking at him. And she probably would have been like, Ryan Coogler, that name sounds familiar. Wait a minute, Black Panther, Wakanda forever. But she didn't recognize him. So he was just another Negro, sorry. He's just another Negro. Some are saying that this is an example of how black people can have implicit bias around race. That's what some people are saying. Some people are saying that Ryan Coogler is his fault because why are you passing suspicious letters? What's all the extra stuff for, Ryan? Why don't you just say it to her? What's all that at? What's that all about? But apparently Ryan Coogler says he does that every time he takes out a large sum of money. He just feels some kind of way about it, which, when was the last time you was walking around with 12 G's? Would you feel insecure? I want to get your thoughts on that. On the local front here, we got to talk about this subject. Y'all might find this boring, but I wouldn't be that guy. I wouldn't be your friendly neighborhood agent provocateur if I did anything less. But we got to talk about something that City Council looks like they're going to vote on this week, maybe Tuesday. We'll hear more about it. But Cincinnati City Council was considering a change to the rules that limit how many housing units can go on a single property. Some people say that these density limits in zoning make housing prices go up and contribute to segregation. Critics of this particular idea in front of City Council, and from what I'm reading, the council was split on this, so we'll find out this week how everybody feels. But some are saying that, okay, great, that's what your goal is. You want to build more affordable housing in more places. Then why isn't it in the bill? Why isn't it in the ordinance? Why isn't it there? I mean, in the policy. Why isn't it in the policy? If that's what you're trying to do, then put it in the policy. People are like, well, listen, there's nothing in this that says that they absolutely have to build affordable housing. Some are saying that this is just another open door for the developers. Some are saying that this is, one of those market mechanisms that is promoting segregation. I want to talk about it with you a little bit this morning, if you can stomach it. Like everybody was talking about housing. Well, damn it, we got to follow it. Now that the city council's there, we got to follow these proposals, and we can decide how we feel about it. But I want to talk about that this morning. That'll be a local story, and we'll get to that. 513-873-7134. I want to talk about Ryan Coogler, and I want to know whether you think that the bank teller, what should happen with the bank teller? What should happen with the bank teller? People act like being arrested, and not even arrested, but being, people just underestimate the traumatic impact of that shit when it comes to us, man. White officers, black officers, man, that can be traumatic to people, right? Everybody ain't used to that. Yeah, like every black man and woman is used to being hands behind your back. Like I told you, some people, man, you start to feel something. Your asthma start to kick up. You might have an anxiety attack, hands behind your back. We ain't in shape. There ain't no comfortable position for a lot of folks out here, but we act like it's nothing. When it comes to black men, it's no big deal. It's a natural position for you, right? It's natural. It's natural. Smile. As we take this mugshot, let me throw this up for you. You want to see this? This is what the situation looked down. And you tell me if he looks like a bank robber to me. Is that a bank robber? Oh, yeah, I'm going to challenge you this morning. Is that a bank robber? That's Ryan Coogler. He's a big-time somebody in certain circles. Right now, working on the follow-up to the super Marvel smash Black Panther. They're working on it. Everybody waiting on it. Aren't you waiting on it? You know you're waiting on it. He's working on it. And this is what he got to deal with. You're going to interrupt the creative process. Well, we live in a COVID world, so everybody's wearing masks these days. You can see that it's very sunny outside, so typically human beings wear sunglasses. I see a lot of brothers and some sisters wearing their hats like that. That's just the way that people wear their hats these days. And how many people rob a bank and drop off an ID? Here's my ID. Oh, by the way, give me all the motherfucking money. Who does that? Clearly, this bank teller needs to be dealt with. Clearly, for the culture. For the culture. Can't let this slide. Care who she is, black, white, Asian, American. It makes no difference. Got to be dealt with. But what do you think? Now, while you ponder that, I want to remind you to check out the Edna Howe show. I mean, she had an excellent show. Nice series of shows she's had with some very interesting guests. Maybe off the beaten path. And I just want to share this with you. You can find it right now up on our Facebook page. Girl in the band, First Lady of Zap. Any Zap fans out there? She has some things to say. It's quite interesting. Very interesting perspective. She got a brand new book out, and she talked with Edna Howe on Straight Talk Live just yesterday. And of course, looking forward, don't forget the Echo Chamber podcast this evening. Christian Boykin doing his thing on Monday evenings. Check him out. Support black voices. You say you want black voices? We giving you black voices. You getting it? We need your support, damn it. Let's get back to it. So what do you think should happen to the woman in this case? And I saw a video of her. It looked like she was like talking with police officers. And again, she's pregnant. You know what pregnancy do to a woman? You already know. Got to give her a pass for that. She's just a mama bear protecting her baby bear. You know what I'm saying? That's all she was. She didn't mean nothing by it, but she got scared. Maybe there's some classism involved as well, because look at how he's dressed. Let's say instead of being dressed like this, let's say he was in a full suit. Because some people I've seen on social media are kind of like, well, dude, why was you dressed like that going to the bank? And I'm like, why was you dressed like that going to the bank? Gosh darn it, you telling me I got to put on a whole suit just so you can look at me as not a criminal? Where the hell they do that at? This is America. This is America. It's a double meaning to that. This is America. But what if, let's play the what if game, because it's also fun to do that in these kind of situations. But what if that was a white male dressed the exact same way? What if it was a white male with a suit on? What if Ryan Coogler had a suit on? A little classism there. Brother, it's not a race thing. You're just dressed like a lowlife. And you lowlifes might do anything. Is that what happened? Or did she get in her feelings and overreact? I'm like, look at the account number, sis. Look at the account number. So maybe she thought it was some type of fraud. Somehow he had gotten the account numbers, right? Something, it just triggered him. This happens from time to time where black people go to the bank and try to get their money out. And then the bank tellers, black and or white, I've seen the stories go both ways, are like, you know what? I got a bad feeling about giving you your money. I got a bad feeling about this. I got a bad feeling about giving you. Some just ain't right. I just can't give you your money. I just don't feel comfortable with this transaction. Can you help me out with this? I don't know. My spider sense. Everybody's a fucking detective these days. Meanwhile, in your personal life, everything's fucking shit. But you out here playing junior detective and all this kind of stuff. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery. Right? I like to know what you think should happen to her. Should she be trained? She just needs some racial sensitivity or maybe some implicit bias training. Should she be, on the other extreme, fired? F-I-R-E-D, get your ish and go. We can't have you disrespecting our customers like this, making us look bad. Yeah, it was a mistake. I get you. But some mistakes cost you your job. This is one of them. Or should it be, you know what, let's take a time away from the teller for a little bit. You know what, we're going to sign you up for some virtual classes from the home office. When's your availability, right? Is that what should happen? I don't know. Or nothing. Like, look, sometimes you got to err on the side of caution. That's what she did, so we're going to stand by her. You know what I'm saying? You tell me. You tell me. Let me jump over and say what's up to the folks on Spreaker. Ray writes, good risings all. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. So Keisha just gonna call the law without referring to her manager. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Come on now. To me, you got a responsibility even when you feel suspicious before you call the police, because calling the police on black folks is dangerous to those black people, whether they were doing something wrong or not. Can't you tell? Look at the news. And you a sister, no less. You a sister. I'm not saying you shouldn't call the police. Like, if you got to call the boys, you got to call the boys. All I'm saying is that if you're in that situation in these days and times, right, people out here getting mistakenly shot. Oops, I thought it was a taser. All these kind of mistakes, right, and then getting a slap on the wrist. And here you are, a sister, and you're not going to run through all your boxes before you start calling the law. I think it's irresponsible. I think it should be considered in her punishment. I think she should be punished. That's just my opinion. I'll tell you what I think should happen to her in a second, if you can't already tell. So let me go to the Chop Shop. Tiffany writes, good morning. Hey, good morning, Tiffany. Anthony writes, morning, Chop Shop. Good morning to you. May writes, grand risings. Nate and the Choppers, good morning to you. Brenda writes, good morning. Pat writes, good morning. Kelly Prather writes, good morning, everyone. Oh, yeah, by the way, Tom Brady's coming back. Kush writes, good morning. Nate and the Mighty Choppers. Crystal writes, good morning. Brenda writes, good morning. Nat writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Jerome writes, good morning, Choppers. Casey's in the house. What's up, Casey? Good to see you. Good morning, Nathan Ivey and the Choppers with a Z. Good morning to you. Anthony writes, like and share fam. Kamar writes, good morning. Sakina writes, good morning, Nathan. We saw the Batman last night. Definitely agree. Solid 8 out of 10. See, I'm telling you. I've been doing this for a while. I know what I'm talking about. Solid 8 out of 10. I give it that. Anything more or less, I have to watch it again because actually I'm starting to forget it. But I'll catch it on, I don't know, somewhere for free. I'm not paying for that shit again. Deshauna writes, good morning, everyone. Darlene writes, grand risings, happy Monday. OT, everyone, OTR. Eloise is in the house. What's up, Elo? Good morning. Shannon writes, good morning. Oh, my God. Everybody's, I see they lining up. The crew is lining up. We'll see. We'll see where people fall on this morning. But, again, this has been out there. We could have talked about this probably on Friday. I'll wait a little bit because I want to see some of the reactions. It's a Monday. I want to get your thoughts on it. On the local front, if you're just tuning in, I want to talk about this zoning density ordinance. Okay, it might be the most boring thing ever. It might be, but I just feel like we have a responsibility to follow these stories. We spend so much time talking about what we want from city council, and part of that was a plan on housing to address, the issues, some more obvious than others. So here are some of the first plans that are tumbling out. And I read this over the weekend or recently that there's a bit of a split on city council. And we had tried to talk with Jen Michelle Lynn McCurney. It was last week. I'm going to try to see if I can reach out to her to get her on tomorrow. I think it's going to go before council because I want to hear the different perspectives. On one hand, it would be great for affordable housing. On the other hand, there's no guarantee it'll be great for affordable housing. That's how I read it. But let's go to the phones. We got an early call. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Oh,
what's
not
up,
a
Fane?
lot. Fane Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson, a.k.a. Famello Ball, a.k.a. Blammy Davis Jr. I just want to talk for about 4 minutes and some seconds, talk a little shit real quick.
Go right ahead, brother.
Yeah, I've been listening to you since 2002, and I think this might be the worst take I've ever heard in my goddamn life about Ryan Coogler. You got to be kidding yourself. He looks like an asshole. Sunglasses, fully covered face mask, a hat, talking about some be discreet. Nothing says I'm about to cause problems that says be discreet. You understand me? He could have. I'm sure he could have hit the bank early. Hit the manager and said, "Hey, I'm coming to withdraw a considerable amount of money. Can you have it ready for me with the bank manager, and I'll get it from their offices, as opposed to being with the general population with the tellers and whatnot." He looks like he's up to no good. Now, granted he didn't, but just because he gave an account number means nothing. Fraud happens every day. Matter of fact, a woman I used to date 10 years ago, her daughter did that. Took money from her account using her. Stole her mom's ID and wrote it, and filled out a bank slip and got the bag from him. And it was her own daughter. You know what I'm saying? So whoever, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the teller a black lady? I was told.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that didn't. Okay. So black people had got implicit bias too, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought she did a wonderful job. He looked suspicious. There's no need for all that in 2020. COVID is over.
There's no way. Hold on, brother. You said there's no need for what? A mask? It's called COVID. Everybody's wearing masks.
Exactly. A mask. When you get to the window, hey, I'm Ryan Coogler, the director. Here's my stuff. Let's be a little bit discreet about this. Passing notes. That's what they do when you rob a bank. You pass a note.
So as a black man, you're proving my point, right? And a point that we said before.
No, I'm not.
As black people, we got to do extra shit. So I didn't went to the bank a million times and have never said to them without presenting an ID, "Hey, I'm Nathan, blah, 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 blah." That's not how that works. You walk up there, you tell them what you want,
withdraw $12,000?
You give them your account number or your bank slip and your ID, and they do their job. He shouldn't have to run down a list of who he is and show you a list.
Well, you got
here's pictures of my tattoos so you can identify me. Why he got to go through extra steps?
Well, you said he gave his account number. That's a step.
That's the normal step that everybody does when they go to the bank.
I don't understand why you're yelling.
He got to pull his mask down and say, "Hey,
you're
I'm
talking to a
Ryan
fan of
Coogler."
20 years, and you're yelling at me. This is ridiculous. I don't understand why you're yelling at me. I'm just giving an opinion.
I'm not yelling at you, man.
You're yelling at me. You're expectorating. I'm watching you on the screen. You're
I'm not
expectorating.
yelling. I just got one of those kind of voices sometimes.
No, you're angry.
I'm not
Calm
angry
down.
at all. Why would I be angry? Because you said some crazy shit.
Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is he portrayed himself as an asshole that day. I'm sorry.
Because he had a mask on.
You've got to accept it. Yes, he's got and sunglasses and a hat, everything. At some point when you get to the teller, you take that stuff off.
Oh, okay. Right. You got to realize he's black in America, right?
No, you got to realize you're a customer at Bank of America.
Man, I've been in banks.
And we need to know who you are.
People do dress the same way. Some with hats on, some without hats on. That's just like normal human daily wear. It's midday.
Credit Union.
It's very sunny outside. And
they do that at Cincinnati Credit Union.
Period.
Nathan, they do that at Cincinnati Credit Union, where they know you. Bank of America, fourth largest bank in the country, eighth in the world. You know, they want to make sure that they're giving out $12,000. That's not a normal amount of money that people withdraw in cash.
And I'll give you another example.
From a bank.
I'll give you some more further evidence that sis was tripping the bank. You want to hear it?
Please.
Okay. I mean, more evidence is the fact that Ryan Coogler said he's done the exact same thing in the past, including giving a note saying be discreet and never had a problem. That proves that his sister was tripping on this day.
To that same teller that he sees her regularly, like he would at Cincinnati Credit Union.
It don't matter.
It does matter. What's that? Why all the damn? Now you're moving the goal. Now you're moving the goal line.
I'm not moving the goal post.
Are we playing on a 100-yard field or a 120-yard field? You know, Ryan Coogler caused his own misery. I'm sorry. That was just dumb. You know, you woke folks out here saying that silly stuff, you know, are gonna get people killed. Now we own that same basic banal black speak. White folks don't treat me right. No, you caused your own misery with this one. I don't feel sorry for you. There was no need to go in the bank like that. You could have done that early as a dude with $12 million in your bank. As a dude with that kind of bank account, you could have made that transaction early, and they would have gladly done it for you.
What do you mean early? You know, what do you mean early?
Called in early and said, "Hey, I'm Ryan Coogler. I'm going to withdraw a considerable amount of money. Can you kind of put it off to the side for me?
Like you said,
I'll have all my."
We agree. You're right about that. When you're black in America, you got to do extra stuff that everybody else don't have to do extra stuff. Because somebody might look at you as a criminal, so you got to go overboard to make sure they don't look at you as a criminal. I got you.
You don't think Steven Spielberg does the same thing?
We're not talking about Steven. I don't have no.
Yeah, we're talking about a dickhead. We're talking about a complete
Steven Spielberg. I do know one thing. Steven Spielberg ain't got no melanin in the skin. I know that. So it don't even, you're talking about apples and oranges. It don't even compute to our conversation. So leave that out.
Right. We're talking about a complete jerk off, and what he did.
No,
even your homegirl,
who did nothing wrong, who tried to take out money from his account, and we're talking about a black bank teller who got in her feelings and misread the situation. So what do you think should happen to the bank teller?
Even your homegirl, I thought she did a bang up job. I think even your homegirl, Donyetta B, and her little group there was kind of battling people. Like y'all, you know, he doing too much. That's too much. Sunglasses, face covered, everything. His whole thing's covered. Head, his whole face, everything's covered. You can't see who this is, and you write me a note saying "be discreet." That's usually what they say before they put the gun up and say, "Yeah, empty the bag."
That's nothing with
Stop it, Ryan. Stop it, Ryan. Stop it, Ryan.
Do you have any
statistical evidence
to back that up? So
you robbed the bank?
So wait, let me get this straight now, because you're cherry picking stuff. So you're telling me that right before mofos get ready to get violent and brandish guns in bank robberies, they produce an ID and an account number for their bank account at that bank?
That's what they do in the bank. That's what they do in the movies. That's what they do in the movies, because that's where he's from, the movie industry.
Stop it, son.
You know, he might have been trying to research. He might have been trying to research for a scene he's trying to do. He just did some dumb shit. That's all. Just that's all.
And you might not have a leg to stand on with your argument.
I don't care if I got a leg to stand on with
what
my
you just
argument.
said makes no sense in the world to me. That last little
No,
bit
it
makes no sense.
It makes plenty of sense.
That was the weakest
the rest
part of your
of it
argument.
did. Oh, okay. Well, regardless of you find that to be weak, he did some dumb shit and he caused his own misery. I don't feel sorry for him.
Okay.
Don't be a dickhead. It's been real.
Look
I had fun.
Look at you.
Ow!
I had fun too. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it, brother. Listen, this ain't the first time the smart people been wrong. Fame's a very intelligent guy. His take on this is just, in my opinion, just wrong. So right before when motherfuckers get violent, start brandishing guns and bank robberies, they produce an ID and account number for a bank account at that bank where they are. That makes sense. I don't believe it. But what do you think, though? I'm really concerned in what you think. So here's a picture of Ryan Coogler, brother Fame right there. He says, look at the way he's dressed. He's dressed like he about to cause a problem. Is this just subconscious racial bias? Decades and decades and decades they telling you that the black man is the bad man, especially if he don't have a suit on. He's got on shades and a mask and a hat. He's not dressed to withdraw money. He's dressed to steal money. What do you think? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What up, Mr. Ivey? How you doing, sir? This is Reggie.
Hey, what up, Reggie? Good morning, man.
Couple things. One, man, the guy, he had a COVID mask on. Two, there ain't no damn way if you talk about fraud. How you gonna call the bank ahead of time and say, have my money ready? How are they gonna verify that? That's not feasible either.
Right.
Two, I was wondering, the brother presented ID, all right? So statistics show that black people don't rob banks in the middle of the daytime. That's the other thing. Two, you got a black teller. The note wasn't, it didn't look forceful or in any way. Why not ask the gentleman to remove his mask? I've been asked to do that when I'm withdrawing money, all right? And two, I saw your picture. You got a black police officer arresting him. The sad thing is that, why not get to the bottom of it and have cooler heads prevail before they drag the brother through all this? When you're a billionaire, millionaire, you can wear whatever the hell you want. You can walk in that damn bank with bikinis on or Daisy Dukes or whatever to make a withdrawal. That's ridiculous. He's just like any other customer, and to say, he's done it before, to me, I think it's ridiculous. She probably just, never know what kind of day she was having. I think she jumped the gun. But the truth is that all this shit could have been resolved in a much cleaner fashion. When you're talking about cameras and all this in the middle of the day, robbing a bank by yourself, I don't think that that's it. So I'm going to disagree with the other caller. You have a right to dress however you want, especially in this COVID day and age, So my thoughts is that it's unfortunate that as a black teller, that she went down that road when she could have done a lot better to defuse the situation. And also that black police officer that was escorting him out, in my opinion, he could have also done a lot better job of diffusing that situation as well. Thanks, my brother. You do a great job. Love your show, man, and have a good day and be safe.
Hey, Reggie, one last question before you go. What should happen to the teller? I think he hung up. That's my question for you. What should happen with the teller? Now, we know what happened, but I want to get your opinion about what should happen next. Do you think that the bank teller should be dealt with, have some kind of like discipline? And to what level? Or maybe you feel like, nah, she a bank teller. This might happen. As I'm reading, let me read this. This is from an article from the Associated Press. So Ryan Coogler had been trying to withdraw $12,000 in cash from his own money, had his ID card from California and his Bank of America's account card with him. Allegedly, the teller received an alert notification from Coogler's account during the withdrawal, and she alerted her manager that she believed Coogler was trying to rob the bank. The employee who was pregnant said she felt uncomfortable by what the computer notifies her was a high-risk transaction. And after speaking with her manager, who suggested she talk to Coogler, who had also given the teller his out-of-state ID to confirm his identity, she refused because she said she did not know if he had a gun and instead called 911. So think about this. Think about this, family. Think about this. She had an opportunity to talk to the brother and maybe get some more information. But she's so caught up in her feelings, she said that she thought he had a gun. So now we go from the man, this black man, from walking in with shades to now he got a concealed weapon. How the do you get all of that? How do you get all of that? Now you think he got a gun? How do you get all of that? Was she mugged or something in her past? Because I would give her a pass for that. Like, because that's a traumatic event. Like, if you've been the victim of an assault or maybe you got mugged or something, yeah, that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. I would give her a lot more latitude. But I just read to you what happened. The manager said, go talk to him. She was like, screw that. He might have a gun. So now this black man, innocent as innocent can be, he just trying to cash the fruits of his labor, making big time Hollywood movies and all. He going to the bank, completely minding his business, trying to get his money out. He's doing them a favor because the banks take your money and then they borrow it to somebody else at a higher percentage than they're giving you for it being in the damn account. That's how they make money. He's doing them a favor. And she thinks he's got a gun. And Fame didn't see no problem with that. But that's just me. Let's go back to the phones. You might have a completely different viewpoint. And while I'm super passionate about my viewpoint, I'm open to hear what you have to say. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What up, Nate?
Hey, what's up,
going on?
I'm doing well, man. Happy Monday to you.
Nothing. Yeah, happy Monday. It's a little chilly down here, man. With y'all spreading that stuff from Ohio down here?
Yeah, we can give you some of that love. Some of that cold weather love.
Yeah, I mean, the past 2 days, man, it's been in the mid-30s. I'm like, what the heck? So, your last caller hit the nail on the head, and you've been hitting the nail on the head. Did you get a chance to listen to the 911 call?
I have not. I know it's out here though.
Incident?
Yeah, if somebody knows where it is, send me a link on Facebook or by email, and I'll play
all it does is reiterate what you and the last caller just said. I can understand being nervous. I can understand her condition, and mind you, again, we're talking about an African American woman, but she didn't follow the protocols. If she was nervous, she should just she talked to her manager, but have her manager come up there and handle the transaction if she's that nervous about it. Who the hell is gonna call ahead to a bank? Only black people come up with this shit. Excuse my language. They come up with this shit just like when we get shot and we didn't do anything with the police. Oh, well, you should have called ahead to the bank. Who the fuck does that and trying to get their own money out of the bank?
Right. I guess wealthy people do that, I guess. I don't know.
No. Hell no. And then that's the other thing. This Bank of America was in Buckhead. And for those that are not familiar with the Atlanta area, that's a white, wealthy, to-do area of Atlanta. So the bottom line is, I think she panicked. It got out of control. Then it got to the point where they called the police. The brother officer, he had his gun unholstered, and that could have went wrong if Ryan Coogler made any sudden move, the wrong move, other than putting his hands behind his back. We'd be talking about, a shooting of a former, I should say a shooting of a Hollywood director of Black Panther and other films. and it's crazy. I mean, you got Kung Fu Wolf Boy out here caping for white supremacy. Is culturally lost, man. That brother is culturally conditioned, and he go around giving people names and worried about their sexuality. He need to go back in his cave and check himself. But man, this incident, it's not about race. It's more about how we've been culturally conditioned in this society. I mean, to assume, I just feel same incident, white guy, I bet there's no incident. No, same situation, white guy, I bet there's no incident, no police called, nothing. He gave her the ID. He had to put in his card. And guess what? When you put in your card, what do you have to do? What's the first thing you have to do when you put in your card so they know it's your account?
I'm not sure.
You got to put in the PIN number.
Right.
You got to put in the PIN number.
Right. But, maybe she thinks it's a fraud situation where somehow he's got the PIN number.
Okay, so in fraud, they got the PIN, they got the ID, they got the fake license, and they know to go to Bank of America and withdraw $12,000 out of Ryan Coogler's account. I mean, I'm not going to say it can't happen, but that's why you have checks. And like I said, if it was that big of a deal, then all she had to do was refer him to the manager. The manager takes care of the situation, him or herself, or refers Coogler to a personal banker, and they handle that off to the side because he wanted to be discreet. And I understand he wanted to be discreet. He's walking out with $12,000 cash, and people might mark him. Mm-hmm. I get it.
What do you think should happen to the teller?
I'm not gonna say she should lose her job. Maybe reassign her to a different position in the bank, or I mean, I guess you could do training, but I would be more inclined to reassign her to a different position. So,
all right.
I don't think she should lose her job, but I mean, it was an unfortunate incident, but people caping for, he was wrong and he should have called ahead and he should have did this. He shouldn't have walked in with sunglasses on. For all you know, I mean, if you saw out there, he had his drivers. They pulled up to the bank. His boys were in the vehicle, and he had on his sunglasses. I mean, he was in the car. It was if you recall, it was a sunny day, much like it is today out there, but it was warm, a little warmer. And he had on his glasses. He probably forgot, I'm just going in. Let me go ahead and take care of this. He forgot he had on his sunglasses. He had on a hat. There ain't no big deal with that. And he had on a mask. No big deal with everything he had on. There wasn't a big deal. And then, like I said, what bank robber is going to go to a teller and give them they'll slide them a note, but then it's going to be like, be discreet. I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to give you the ID. I'm going to punch in the number. I'm going to punch in my information and blah, 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 blah. I mean, a bank robber ain't working with that time frame. They trying to get the cash and get out. So it's just an unfortunate incident. But I'd like to hear more of the Chop Shop feedback. Take care, Nate.
Yeah, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Strong calls this morning. Listen, if you want to share your thoughts, there's the number, 513-873-7134. I want her to, I would not be upset if she gets fired. I would not be upset because black life is worth that much. I mean, to me, even there's so many levels to it. Like, even the way people react to what should happen to her is a measure of black life and the worth of black life, because he could have been killed. I got the 911 queued up. You want to listen to it? I do. Let's check this out.
Ferry Road, 1280 West Paces. Do you need police, fire, and ambulance? You said what?
Do you need police, fire, or an ambulance?
Police.
Okay, and is this a house, apartment, or a business?
Yes, it's a bank.
It's a bank. What's the name of the bank?
Bank of America.
And what's going on there?
So a customer passed me a note, and so I just told my manager I didn't feel comfortable. So he told me to call police while he, I guess, stalled for
What
a
is
minute.
what is on the note, ma'am?
It just says I want to withdraw $12,000. Just be discreet.
Okay. And the customer's still there?
Yes.
What is your name?
Erica Glass.
Is this an actual customer, or are they trying to rob the bank?
They had a debit card, and he inserted it. He gave me a California ID, but I was like, okay, how do you want the cash back? And he's like, just look at the note.
Okay, what is your phone number?
So my phone number or the
whichever one
company.
we can get to you directly. Okay, hold on one second. Do not hang up.
Let me jump in here because this is just going from bad to worse. He said, just look at the note. I want to withdraw. That's the language of people who have accounts. Bank robbers, and again, I'm spitballing here because I don't know any bank robbers and I'm not in that world, but do bank robbers go in and give people notes and say, can you withdraw this from my account? Just be discreet. That seems to be counterintuitive to me. That doesn't make any damn sense. Sis got in her feelings. I'd be the worst bank teller ever because I ain't doing none of that shit. I ain't doing none of that. You got the account? Looks good to me. Here's your money, sir. I'm trying to get to lunch. I'm trying to get to lunch with no problems. I'd be the worst bank teller ever, man. I really would be. I would be the worst bank teller ever. Because I'm not doing all this Inspector Gadget shit. I'm not doing none of that. None of it. Here's your money. Here's your money. Let's go back to this. Let me see what we can hear here. Long silence. I'm not sure.
He had no weapons, correct?
Not that I know of. He just
Not-
has on black sunshades and a black hat.
Is he a black male, white male?
He's a black male.
Black sunglasses. See that black? I mean, the more she talks, the more we get it. That black, man, it set her off. He got on black sunglasses, black sweatshirt. Of course, the sweatshirt isn't black. Black hat, black man. That's too much black right there. Maybe she said black pants. Would it have been better if he got on a pink shirt? Oh, damn it. We's our own worst enemy. We's our own worst enemy. Damn it. Nat writes, Bank of America apologized for a reason. He followed protocol and was arrested because he's black. Right, he's black with black shades on. Next time, and you know, I as you can wear, I wear corrective lenses. Sometimes I wear contacts. Sometimes I wear sunglasses. I have prescription sunglasses. So it's happened many, many times where I'm out and about and I go into a building, but I can still see because they're prescription, right? And I don't want to, either I don't want to carry another set of glasses with me or I'm in and out, so I'll just keep the shades on. People might be looking at me like, oh, who you think he is? But these are my glasses. You know, I can see. Sunglasses or not. So maybe they're prescription sunglasses. Maybe they're prescription sunglasses. So he kept them on because they're correcting his vision. He can see everything as opposed to like fumbling, taking the glasses off, putting them back on. I mean, sometimes I carry two pair. It depends on what's going on for the day. It just depends. Kamiki writes, I think she should reevaluate her career choice. This ain't it for her. Hey, good morning to you, Kamikia. I'd like to know, what do you think should happen to her? Anything? Should she be fired? Yes, no? I want to get your thoughts on it. Tracy writes, so let's think about this. Masked Man stole all of those docs he presented. He walks in, presents the docs, and slipped her a note. But we're wrong. I thought we were supposed to be match ID with the person. Reggie writes, why didn't the black officer not try to figure it out? Our own people should try to help us. But Reggie, I think they did. I think that's protocol in those kind of situations. Like in those kind of situations, the officer shows up. All he or she is working with is the information they got from the dispatch. They don't know. So what do they want to do? Typically what I've seen and what it appears to me is they try to take you out to the squad car. That way they get you out of the place of business and they sort it out while you're in a squad car. Typically you got cuffs on you. And that's what it seems like they've been trained to do. That's what I see over and over again. So my issue with the police, I don't have an issue with the police in terms of I have one big issue. The big issue that I have, I think it's a better way to approach it. The biggest issue I have is that the officer had his damn weapon. He was about to unholster his weapon on him. Why? We already know in America, any kind of officer, black suspect, and now you got that gun in your hand, anything can happen, as we've learned, because sometimes people get mistakenly shot. Oops, my bad, I just killed your son. Oops, I'm so sorry. But can you go lenient on me in the sentencing? That ain't no regular situation. You know, I think there should be an extra level of sensitivity in today's time that is brought to a situation like this when you're dealing with somebody that is melanated, because it changes it. It's different. Everybody in here knows, and this is a very fair question, and the fact that this is a fair question or fair statement to make, right, in the interest of provoking thought. Like if I said to you, if he was white, same situation, nothing changes, but he's white. Do you think that sister would have been like, when the bank teller said, well, go talk to him and try to figure it out, do you think that sister would have went back and talked to him? The fact that that's even a fair question to ask tells you that that's a major problem. The fact that that's even a fair question to ask, like, I don't know. But the fact that I don't know is the problem. That's the problem, man. That's wild. TNT writes, she should be fired. There is no excuse for being ignorant. Her incompetence falsely detained a man who so happened to be responsible for one of the most epic movies ever. She could have gotten him killed for her negligence. And that's why I say that if she got fired, I would feel bad because she's pregnant. I want mothers to have the money they need, to parents to have the money they need to raise their kids. But that ain't no small mistake. And that's what the point I'm trying to get. That ain't no small mistake. What TNT said to me is, albeit the worst case scenario, but that could have happened. And because he's black, it's more likely that it could have happened. And so we got to bring an extra level of sensitivity to these kind of situations right here. If I found out that maybe she got suspended and retrained, I mean, if that's what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. But if she got fired, it sends a message. Double check. It will send a message through all the Bank of America branches. Double check. Yeah, do your job. But let's not be reckless with calling the police. Even if you're trying to err on the side of caution. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is she's a bank teller. And bank tellers are put in this position where people rob banks. And they have to, in the moment, on the fly, discern and make these kind of decisions. This is what we give them as bank tellers. And part of that is they might feel suspicious with a transaction. And because we have these institutions called banks, and because we have bank robbers, and because we have all of these issues, sometimes mistakes are going to happen. Sometimes good people are going to make mistakes. And she's good people who just made a mistake. So what we're going to do, sis, we're going to sit you down. We're going to talk about implicit bias. We're going to reinforce what we want you to do in these situations. And we're going to send you back out there because good people make mistakes. That's the other way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is what Brother Fame said. It's Ryan Coogler's fault because he walking into banks dressed like a bank robber. He dressed like a bank robber. Look at you with your mask on. Yeah. COVID, Shovit. Yeah, I hear you. You got a mask on with your shades on, overly big shades. Yeah. It's midday and super sunny, but you got a mask on, right? That's the other way of looking at it. Look at your hat. Looks like it's designed to conceal your hair. Totally off the subject. Crystal writes, Nate, I'm on season 1, episode 8 of Ozark. Oh, okay. Just wait for it. Just wait for it, Crystal. Wait for it. I'm telling you, they have mastered the cliffhangers. But let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nate. It's Kev on the cell. How you be, bro?
Hey, good morning, Kev. I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Great to hear.
Great day for a great day. So first off, I actually was more lenient on the sister until I heard the call. And then when I heard the call, I was like, yeah, maybe she need to be fired. Man, come on now. He presented me with the note. What the note say? Be discreet. I'd like to withdraw some money. That's not bank robber speak, man. Not nowhere in the world is that bank robber speak. And she was on the phone this whole time, right?
I don't know if it was the whole time.
Correct, Nate?
I don't know if she was on the phone the whole time.
She went to the manager?
She went to the manager, yeah. The manager said, go back and talk to him.
All this time, the bank robber just sitting there waiting. You know what? She sure is being slow with this robbery. I got to get lunch. Nathan, the bank robber is sitting, waiting in the lobby while you go talk to the manager and the police. He ain't made not one false move, huh? How does that work, man? I don't think that's a good robbery tactic. By the way, if you put in the pin, if he handed her the card and he put in the pin, did it work? Because then there is cash there, and I heard somebody say this before. $12,000 isn't a lot of money to some people, man. $12,000 is a routine transaction. Be discreet is the exact opposite of what she did. He said be discreet. Right. She called the police.
Right. Follow the assignment, Sid. Right. That's funny. It's the exact opposite.
Hey man, look, no. You know what? Sister's pregnant. She, you know what I'm saying. She needs to be retrained, of course, right? But the funny thing about this is, for all those people out there that talk about there's no such thing as implicit bias and all of that, we now know that even for ourselves, there is implicit bias, right? Because this is a black young lady that is saying that she feels unsafe because a black man came in with a hat on and had the audacity to have $12,000 in his account. Because black men don't have $12,000 in their account. That's not a normal thing. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be broke, right? We're supposed to not have no money, be struggling, going through it. And so when I come in here and I say, man, I need to withdraw $12,000, that's an impossibility. This man could not possibly have $12,000. Mm-hmm. That's the implicit bias that's the negative that's going on. That's why we need to go, and you know I'm going to say it, get that bag, because that should be a normal transaction. It should just be normal. The reason why it's not normal is because, and I'm going to say this, we're not doing well enough. If we were doing well enough, this wouldn't be a problem. You would walk into a bank, black man, white man, mixed man, whatever, right? You'd hand them a card and they'd say, oh, well, you know, the possibility of a black man having $12,000 in the account is just like anybody else having $12,000 in their account. You know, we need to work to change these perceptions, but it's even more heart-pulling to me that not only do we have to change the perceptions for them, we got to change the perceptions to us. Everybody in this story is black. I don't know if the bank manager is, and you're in the middle of Atlanta, which is black.
Are you in a car, Kev? I hear some kind of ringing.
No, it's not me ringing, but
It's not you ringing? Okay, it must be
I have
coming from
my
outside
headset.
then. Sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah, so, everybody in the story is black. So the bias is all black people. There's a black cop, black teller, and a black man. We can't even blame the other man on this one. It can't be the man's fault. You know what I'm saying? Because the man might have been the manager. I don't know. We don't even see the manager in the story. So, I think we just got to work harder, man, to change these perceptions and stop, quote unquote, being the bottom of the barrel. On every statistic, when you look at it, and I'm not talking about the black women right now. I am talking about the black men. We are the bottom of the barrel. Health, marriage, you name it, whatever it is, you start talking about those statistics, generally it'll say the black family first and the black man first and the black family second. And it's a horrible statistic to be changed. But it's a beautiful day. I do got a job. And I work for a bank. There's training for all of this, man. Training for all of this. She missed her training, bro. Be blessed, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, too. You too, man. Thanks for the call, Kev. Appreciate him. As always a pleasure to talk with Kev on the cell. Kamara writes, y'all hit me up when he's off. I'm not sure what she's talking about. That was Kamara. Dale writes, dude, I am disappointed at this caller. You talking about Fame? He was stirring the pot. Crystal writes, the color of the teller has nothing to do with the situation, i.e., I'm not with that. And the officers are just responding. You know what I'm saying? The officers are just responding. My concern is, and again, people rob banks with guns, so maybe him pulling a weapon out was him just being super cautious, The teller was in her feelings. But I think Kev said something, he hit the hell in the nose. Like the implicit bias is that a black man dressed like that, he ain't supposed to have $12,000 in his account. So he must be doing something fraudulent, right? That's what the implicit bias is. He's right about that. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Nicole. How you doing?
Hey, Nicole. Good morning. I'm doing well.
Awesome. Great calls back to back. Love everybody's comments today. My thoughts with the Ryan Coogler situation, I think the teller was wrong and beyond incompetent. I think we said that enough times. Everybody, especially after hearing the 911 call, I had heard it last week, and when I heard that, I was just floored. Absolutely floored, but all she had to do was verify that account. And I think one of the choppers alluded to that very, very early in the comments. And just that alone could have prevented a lot of this. The mere fact that she opted not to do that, I think, was the biggest mistake. Like we said time and time again, robbers are not providing their ID and bank card with their account numbers. And to me, everyone's saying, don't fire her, don't fire her. Not only was she wrong and caused the false detainment of someone who has impacted the culture with the epic Black Panther, you know what I mean? But the sister discriminated against, the brother. And to me, that's like lower than low. Who is she, Candace Owens? I mean, what would cause you to just have that type of lens? And like, Kev said just a moment ago, like, Black people can have implicit bias. That's true. We got Black people on the bench and everything else. And, it just because we are the same hue don't mean nothing. People in politics or whatever, we know that. We have to get down deep into the character of people. But to me, if I'm Bank of America, that was my company, and her incompetence raised to a level that now she's a liability. She caused so much negative publicity, you know what I mean, where you have people willing to take their money out of your bank because of the level of incompetence and what he could have died. That's another thing from this level of incompetence that we saw. And now you got celebrities and different people and even us, on this, way in Cincinnati, Ohio, It's talking about this situation. You know what I'm saying? So the negative publicity in itself is enough to be like, you know, you're done. She should be done. Secondly, you was talking about the zoning ordinance, and we
Yes.
did have an opportunity with two of the council members, Councilmember Reggie Harris and Councilwoman and Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Kearney. We had an emergency meeting and discussed this ordinance with us. That's part of the reason why we were able to come to a vote and put that press release out to the community on our stance, the Cincinnati NAACP stance on this ordinance. And from what I gathered, and hopefully you get Jen Michelle, she can explain it even better. But you know, this is a zoning ordinance, and so this is not, you know, anything remotely for affordable housing. Like, it's not interchangeable or any kind of way. It does come to a vote tomorrow, and basically, from what I gather, this is simply removing the red tape measures for developers, and their belief by removing some of the requirements in density, that this would kind of lead to a return of good faith that they will then, you know, develop more affordable units, which is aspirational and not so much a guarantee. The other side believes, you know, by removing the density requirements, making it so this is something that they can access easily, it takes away a bargaining chip that is currently being used to require, you know, affordable housing for developers. It also eliminates the current requirement for developers to go in front of the community. Like right now, they can ask for a variance for more density, but they have to go through a process where they have to come down to City Hall. They have to make the case to the community why they want to provide more density in a certain neighborhood. And, you know, people can reject it or whatever, but they can't just outright, you know, because we want it here, we'll have it here. And that's what they're basically eliminating the red tape to do. Also in this ordinance, it is only specified in communities that are already dense. So the Avondales and the Bond Hills and just places where there's already density, they're not requiring this in the Hyde Parks and other neighborhoods that don't have as much density, that would, you know, come to City Hall and probably argue against it. So it's just like, it's all developer friendly. And this city council made this city council and the mayor, they made the pledge like affordable housing is going to be their number one objective, and that they're going to, you know, put it to the forefront. Well, you don't begin by, you know, giving so many incentives to developers. Like come to the table with the plan and the requirements to get the ball rolling, and not some good faith measures that is no guarantee. That really, we've seen what happens when this goes on, and we have the segregation and the high rent and everything else, which is becoming a greater issue. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how the votes turn out tomorrow. But everybody keep an eye out for that. Lastly, also the governor will be, I believe, making a decision on whether to veto Senate Bill 215. So if you have not had a chance to call up there, which is number 614-644-4357, or send an email out. We do have a video out explaining, you know, Senate Bill 215, which is the bill that will allow anyone over the age 21 qualified, legally qualified, whatever that means, to own a gun without training, no training necessary, or background checks, or permitless carry, basically. And there's a lot of implications there that we don't feel is safe. It's a public safety hazard. Also, just the component and requirement training. I looked at some of the states that already have this, like 21, 23 states, and I can't find a state yet where there hasn't been murder-suicides. The suicide rates are high. They need to check the numbers. There's a organization called Every Town, and they have did the stats. And almost in every state, their suicide rates are higher than most states in the states that have tough gun laws. So, some of the arguments and the narratives around it is kind of warped, you know what I mean? And a lot of people are following the narrative of the NRA. But if you dig a little deeper, there is a lot of deaths looking for accidental deaths and stats for that. But what I found so far is enough to cause an alarm. And I don't think I'm going to have a video in time to put together just to share that and show that. But regardless of whatever happens, I think that we need to be mindful of what's to come and to be prepared to protect our family and protect ourselves, and just hope that you're not the casualty of somebody's negligence and ignorance and just lack of training, because bullets don't have any names on it. I was just seeing on the news where they just caught a person up in Delaware, Ohio, who was literally indiscriminately shooting in on the highways, just shooting people. You know what I mean? If people think that you can just go out here and just have everyone access a gun, and then there's no requirements to get background checks. We haven't even dealt with mental health. You haven't thought about domestic violence cases. You haven't thought about, the high suicide and all these other, ramifications that come with, access to guns and the murder and the accidental gun rates. I think it's beyond asinine. We're just really playing with a dangerous situation. And like some people have said, and then if you cross states, you have to know the gun laws in every state. You can put yourself in a situation just by crossing, state lines So I think it's just a bad bill that's going to have a lot of people tied up in different ways that are good people, innocent people. And we just can't be this careless. And it's a real shame that lawmakers are more aggressively trying to pursue laws like this instead of responsible gun laws that we need right now, and just things that we need in this country. Like they're more focused on CRT and the stuff that is just like don't even really matter, and not trying to make this society better and more progressive in ways. We're just like going backwards in a lot of ways. And so I just want everybody to stay abreast of these things. But that's all I got, brother. All right.
If I'm wrong about that, then set me straight. I think I've been talking here. Let me set this all straight because I think the microphone was off. It was on hold for a second. So let me say what I just said again because you can see I've been talking a whole lot. So let's talk about the density zoning ordinance. We got to talk about that. The TNT just mentioned it. So there's two sides to this. And if anybody has any insight to this and I'm wrong about this, please set me straight and forgive me. I'm an imperfect creature. So on one hand, you have people who are saying that density limits in the zoning code make housing prices go up, right? It's scarcity and demand, right? So other people also are saying that the density limits in the zoning of density limits in the zoning codes has been historically, whether it was done intentionally or unintentionally, been a mechanism for segregation. And to address that, we need to give developers the option to increase the density of housing in any particular project or zone. That's essentially what the argument is. Now, critics, as I understand it, on city council, and I believe Jan Michelle has made this point, Jan Michelle Lemon-Kearney, vice mayor of Cincinnati, I believe her concern, among others, perhaps on city council, and even in the community, and TNT spoke to that, is that as written in this particular ordinance, the goal of affordable housing is aspirational and not intentional. I have aspirations. I like aspirations. We should all have aspirations. But when you're talking about public policy, that should be intentional. And they're like, here we go again, opening the door to create another tool so developers can get rich with the promise that they're going to focus on affordable housing, but it's not explicitly. Now, this is what I'm gathering. Now, if something changes within or has changed already, please set me straight on that. So that's what the deal is as it relates to this. I mean, hopefully you can follow me on this. This may not be the sexiest topic, but it's definitely a hot topic in terms of dealing with affordable housing here in the greater Cincinnati area. And we held them accountable when everybody talked about affordable housing. This was a big issue. So now the new council's in place and we're getting some of the ideas that are coming out. So we should follow it. That's what we're going to do. Give it some time. Now, this ordinance, as I understand it, was proposed by Liz Keating about a year ago. Now, currently, she is the only Republican on city council. You got 9 members. She's the only Republican. And we have wondered out loud, what is going to be her stance? How is she going to navigate being the only Republican and you got 9 Democrats? What's she going to do? Now we're learning. Quote, other cities have taken a much more drastic step, and we're trying to be very thoughtful in small steps as we go forward. That's Liz Keating. As I'm reading, there's a split on city council about this. Some council members, like Reggie Harris, who I've been reading is a big supporter of this, and others maybe not so much. Maybe they like the concept, but they feel like it is an unfinished project. I'll say it again. If the goal, the policy should be intentional and not aspirational. I'm sick of the days of there's a new policy and then you look at it and there's nothing intentional about affordable housing. What I would say, and I haven't looked at it, maybe over the weekend or maybe today or maybe even right now, council members are dealing with this and who knows what will come up tomorrow. I think they're going to have a vote on it. But I think that I don't trust it. If it's not intentionally and explicitly in the ordinance, I don't trust it. It may have the best intentions in the world, but if it ain't explicitly and intentionally in the ordinance, I don't trust it. I thought we stopped doing that shit. The change would reduce or move density limits for 6 types of zoning. Follow me here. I know this is like some of that. We ain't talking about relationships, okay? So just follow me on this. But this is the chop shop, so this is the right place to do it. So here are the 6 types of zoning that will be affected or reduce or remove the density limits. Multifamily, office, commercial, urban mix, manufacturing, and riverfront. Now, urban mix, I confess I don't know what that is. Maybe somebody can put something and share it on that. For example, a building currently limited to 4 units could be increased to 8. So look at this. So let's say this is all done to increase affordable housing, but there's nothing specific in the ordinance that says developers, you got to do this. Okay, it's aspirational. So you got developers, they ain't into winning. They want to make money. You got a unit, you got 4 units right now. Every unit's $2,000, $2,500 because we got a prime location. Oh, now I can increase it to 8 units? Shoot. Does that mean that they're going to do what? Offer 3 more at the market rate and 1 affordable housing rate? What is that? Just because? Now, why would the developers do this? Just because we want to do this, or there's some other incentives involved? Perhaps there are. Perhaps there are. But what do you think? Some are saying, damn, you just... And again, let me say this. Red tape gets a bad rap. Red tape gets a bad rap. Politicians love to throw out there, oh, we're getting rid of red tape. Like, wait a minute. That's caution tape. That's hold up, don't go too far tape. That's hold on, let's take a look at what you're doing because what you're doing might not be good for the community tape. Let's not just throw red tape out here. Red tape gets a bad rap. You know what I'm saying? In some cases, maybe. In some cases, maybe we need the red tape. Maybe that tape was there to say, caution, don't go here. So when I hear politicians using this politician speak, oh, it's red tape. It makes me suspicious. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, so what is the red tape? What is the red tape? And apparently something like these ideas have been put in place in other parts around the country, like Seattle and Los Angeles have made similar moves. But that's Seattle and Los Angeles. And yeah, you want to look at other cities as a benchmark, of course, but Cincinnati is unique. You know, our culture, our demographics, what we have going on here, the history, what's going on here, the various factors, they might be different than in Seattle, than Los Angeles. It may not be the same. So be wary of that. You tell me what you think. And again, I am aware. Sorry about that. I'm an imperfect creature. The flows are superlative, but sometimes I forget to unmute myself. I apologize. I know it's very unpleasant. And pleasant. Kamar writes, we can look at our own neighborhoods. Brent writes, red tape keeps your rivers from being on fire like in Ohio back in the 60s and 70s. I believe, right. Hold up on the disparaging red tape now. I got to read the tape first. I don't know what this is. That's that googly got politics speak. Oh, it's red tape. Oh, bureaucracy. Oh, that's why everything moves so slowly. Yeah, there's a reason why some things should move slowly. It's called being careful. It's called double checking. It's called making sure. You can't fast track every process. Some processes need to be a little bit longer. Like getting a goddamn gun in Ohio. We need more red tape. You follow what I'm thinking. Just sent the maps and language of the density ordinance via email. So thank you so much, Sister Iris. I appreciate you keeping me on point. Appreciate it. Yeah, I see it right here. I'm going to check this out. Is that right? Okay. Very interesting. Brent writes, one of the main issues with the so-called housing shortage is that a lot of these property equity firms has brought up all the available inventory and are holding it in order to inflate home prices overall. They then slowly put out the inventory back on the market to maximize their return on investment. Is that right? Makes sense. Is that right? So would increasing the density in a particular zone be a way of balancing that? Or would that just give the developers more inventory? Tracy writes 5 minutes of funk. Oh, yeah, I was flowing for a minute there. I apologize. Very unpleasant. I had to go back and take that out. Take that out the video because it'll be very unpleasant. People won't want to sit through it. I definitely get it. Thank you for staying through it. Interesting. Again, tell me what you think. And again, this is all super I don't know what you want to call the word. I don't know what the word is to describe what this is, but It ain't the sexiest, sexy topics, right? But it is very, very serious. It is very, very serious. And, my view on this is I think that when you're doing programs or policy, in my opinion, and you're trying to achieve a certain goal, then it should be very explicit and intentional. Kamar writes, nobody heard anything. I know. I look good, though. You could tell I was in a flow. I caught a flow. You could already tell, but, it's the passion is there, so I can still bring it back. It's like, damn, I wish I hear what you saying. That brother is on one. Again, I'm not perfect. Kamar writes, Madisonville, what am I looking like here? Madisonville is a prime example of the guarantee affordable housing. Right. Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, affordable housing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm a developer, man. I mean, I care about the city and I want to be a good city partner and all that kind of stuff, but I want to make money and I want to maximize my profits. I mean, if I can make $1,000 per unit more because I'm going for market rate or maybe above market rate because I just got a super hot location or super hot property, or there's just a lack of spaces out there, so it makes my space a premium, I want to go for the bucks. And I'm going to go for the bucks. That's what the developers have been doing. They've been going for the bucks. And they're going to keep going for the bucks unless they're forced to do otherwise. Nat writes, progressive policies now? Is that a question or a statement? He's saying progressive policies now. Is that what he's saying? You tell me. All right, let me take a quick pause. Just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal. Brought to you by the good folks over at Sand Digital Media. Sit tight, everybody. Don't go anywhere.
Just can't stop thinking about you. Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out of my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. Just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Giving we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home, yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just won't get out, yeah, you always make me feel like home, yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get back into it. 513-873-7134. You got me up until 10 a.m. this morning. Today's a meme Monday. On Monday, I want to share memes with you. I'm a meme person. It's nothing more hilarious than a good meme. It's art. It's digital art. It really is. Some of them are cultural. Some of them are like political. But a good meme is a lot of fun. And, on a personal level, I share memes with the wifey all the time. We share memes back and forth. And I'm thinking, I can't be everywhere. I'm sure it's a whole bunch of really, really fun memes out there. And on Mondays, I want to share with you some of the memes that I collected or just come across your radar screen. Like, I've got some friends on social media, and they are just so good, way better than me, of finding these memes and then sharing them. So I want to collect them and share some of the more poignant or interesting or funny ones with you. That's it. That's it. Let me see here. Not sure what's going on. That's taking a little longer than it really should. This is, if you live in Cincinnati, you are going to find this meme to be so hilarious. I came across this over the weekend. Can you see this? Look at that right there. You read that? That's hilarious. Pothole City. Pothole City. When it's too late and all you can do is pray and clench your ass cheeks. That's what it reads. That's hilarious. Anybody been there? If you live in Cincinnati, you been there, boy. You about to go over, you be like, oh, God. Because you're traveling so fast, you can't stop. You kind of dodging it. I be dodging potholes, man, like dodging trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's right there in front of you. That is hilarious. I'm trying to upload it so I can put it on the screen here, but it's taking a second. I'll get it out in a second. Good morning to you. What happened with affordable housing in Madisonville? That's Greg. Anime Savage writes, if you couldn't own a gun before SB 215, you still can't. It doesn't allow for any easier access to guns for criminals. It makes law-abiding citizens safer and that they can more readily protect themselves. I know that's the rationale, Anime, but I truly believe that it becomes, gun violence becomes a, and Angela writes, slow down. I'm doing the speed limit. I'm doing the speed limit out here. I don't really be speeding like that. You know what I'm saying? But we all been through that before, boy. You be like, brace for the impact. That's all you can do sometime with these potholes. It's so bad that people share pothole stories. Like, watch out. Don't go here. Cass is doing it right now. Middletown potholes are like 3-bedroom townhouses. You can't even dodge them. It's ridiculous. 3-bedroom townhouses. That's hilarious. Good morning, Cass. That's hilarious. Jesse writes, hell yeah. Oh, man. Nat writes, between potholes and gas prices, I'm going to start walking. I know that's right. Man, listen. You might see your boy on, I don't know, some kind of little smaller vehicle. I don't know what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Looking at a motorcycle, a scooter, electric bike, bicycle, something. 3-wheeler, something. I might just bike it up. Bike everywhere. That's right. I know that's right, Nat. Gas prices, it's obscene. It's pornographic. Where are the conservatives at? Gas prices are pornographic. It's straight Jenna Jameson out there. She's still relevant. She came up on my timeline recently. It's straight XXX out there, man. When you go to the gas tank, it's XXX. Terrible. Good morning to you. I don't know why my shit ain't, here we go, man. Dumb ish be happening. Let's try it again. Not sure. That's funny. Not sure. I want to show you the rest of my memes. I got like 3 I want to show you. I don't want you to see that, but it's, I don't know, it's just loading slowly. Shit ain't perfect. Cincinnati Black in the front writes, the maps are telling of what communities will look like if the ordinance passes. Right. Oh, okay. That's how you read it. Okay. Again, we're not done with this topic. I'm going to reach out to Reggie Harris and some members of the city council between now and tomorrow's show. They're going to vote tomorrow just to pick their brains and get their thoughts on it. I'd like to hear more. For the people who are for it, I would like to know if they're so for it and it's about affordable housing. My question is affordable housing explicitly in the ordinance? Is this the mandate? This is what you have to achieve. This is your goal, or else no. I read that like 70% of the applications to sort of circumvent the density, the current density rules are approved. Well, maybe that 30% is what the problem is then. And maybe we need that 30%. And don't hit me with the whole red tape argument, because red tape is getting a bad rap. Lay off red tape. Sometimes you need that red tape. TNT writes, everyone is a law-abiding citizen until they are not. Tell that to DV victims, domestic violence victims, who never report their abuse out of fear. Their stories sometimes end in murder-suicides. In my opinion, you should at least have to pass a background check, because we are not the same society that we were back when the Constitution was written. And the technology of weaponry is just so much differently. Brother Forte called in, we was talking about this, and he was like, and I agree. I made the same point. Like, back when this was written, you're talking about muskets. It took you 90 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes in order just to reload your weapon. Nowadays, in 60 seconds, you can kill 35, 40 people. Things are different now. So I don't hear all of this, we got to adhere to the Constitution BS. That's just BS, man. Anybody will tell you that takes at least one class in college about the Constitution is that it is organic. It is meant to be a living document that changes as the people of America change. And we have fucking changed. So, we can't do what we thought we used to be able to do. I don't trust you. The family structure is not what it used to be like. You don't know what you're dealing with. You got too many wild cards out there. You never know what you're dealing with. And like I said, projectile technology, like weaponry, is at an all-time high. You can kill more people in a shorter time frame than you could ever do in all of human history. You gonna trust it? Everybody drugged up. Most people out here drugged up on some kind of drug. The food is bad. The water is bad. The environment is bad. Fucking Instagram. I'm just going to blame Instagram too. Just throw Instagram in there. You get some too, Instagram. So, things have changed. And I don't trust Ohioans. And what it's going to do is there's going to be a lot of people like me who already got CCWs. And then now, if you pass this, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to look at everybody like they're threatening. Everybody packing. And if everybody packing, I'm packing too, period. And that's just what it is. It's going to be a lot of people that's going to have that attitude. And so now it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. People are afraid of being a victim of gun violence. So what do? They go out and get more guns. And what does that do? It continues the proliferation of guns. It makes it more likely that something's going to happen. It'll be a mistake, innocent bystander, confrontations, because mommy didn't love me. Daddy didn't play basketball with me. Mofos out here, grown-up children, get into arguments that end in somebody losing their life over something small because nobody wants to step back, because a real man don't ever back down. You follow me? So I don't trust us at all. I do not trust humans to do a damn thing. That's why I don't eat fast food. I don't trust you with them fries. I'm not eating that crap. I know what you did. So that's what's going to happen. Is it going to lead to the wild, wild west? I don't know about believe that, because look at Kentucky. Look at some of the states where they already have, these kind of rules in effect. And it didn't lead to like anarchy in the streets, but some people might get caught up in the game. Somebody might lose their life. And that's just how I look at it. We shall see. And Mike DeWine, just so you know, Mike DeWine did the folks over at the Ohio Buckeye Firearms Association, they're pro Second Amendment. I've talked with some of these guys over the years. These dudes are super oh my God, they out here training teachers on how to be armed in schools and pushing policy and legislation. They got a lobbying wing. They spend money. They do a whole media blitz. They do all this stuff, right? So they did a survey back when the current governor, Mike DeWine with No Spine, Mike No Spine DeWine, they did, this is so much shit ever. They did excuse me for a second. Okay. So they did a survey of the candidates when Mike DeWine was running for governor. And one of the questions was, if you get a bill of this nature, if it comes before him, would he vote for it? You want to know how he answered? He answered yes. So all signs indicate that he'll probably sign it. So get ready for it. What you going to do? I just told you what I'm going to do. What you going to do? Here it is right here, my favorite. Look at this. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. When it's too late and all you can do is pray and clench your ass cheeks. You live in Cincinnati, you doing that today if you're driving. It's like, oh God, it's the big one. I dodged a pothole yesterday. No. It was last week. I dodged a pothole. Man, I thought about that pothole even afterward. It was kind of one of those things like, oh my God. Like, oh my God, I dodged a bullet. It's like, damn, ice did that? Ice is powerful. Ice is powerful. It's a meme Monday I'm sharing with you this morning. Everybody knows somebody like this. When everyone thinks you're wrong, but a Google search proves you're right. Look at that face right there. That's hilarious. Are you like that? Are you a Google person? Somebody be telling me, like, go to Google. Aha! I knew I was right. Making your little smirky ass faces. I envision that this is the face that Fame makes when he's calling in every day. Like when he calls to the show, he's making his face. He always think he right. It's a little Google searches, man. F your Google search. And these are for my people going to work today on jobs where you want to cut somebody, but you can't. When you're about to lose your ish, but got to chill because you at work. And put your little blades up. Put your blades up. Anybody go into a condition like this today on the job? You this close from cutting up, motherfucker. He just don't know. She just don't know. Right? That's hilarious. So share your memes with me every Monday. And again, maybe throughout the week, but definitely on Mondays. It just happens like over the weekend. Maybe I spend more time on social media. I start to see these memes. Some of them are just hilarious. I got to share with you. And just hit me with a direct message or you can email me. Of these three, my favorite is this, though. This is my favorite right there. That's just so Cincinnati right now. So I think that scene is from Fast and Furious, I think. Vin Diesel. What happened to Vin Diesel? I don't care. Don't answer that. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm getting a hover round. Is that right, Brandy? You got to. Bus, walk. Like, it's hazardous out there. You can hit a pothole today and not have a car for a week. Be hitting up that emergency fund for $1,000 at least. It's like, damn, how did cars get so damn sensitive? Cincinnati Black in the front. Mr. Harris said this ordinance is not about affordable housing. Is that what he said? Huh. Then what is it about then? I mean, if it's not about affordable housing, then what the fuck are they doing? I like to talk to Mr. Harris. I'm going to reach out to him today, shortly after the show. Right after the show, I'm hitting these streets. I built the foundation. Now it's time to build the temple. It's temple building time. Good morning to you. Challenge Rice, it's the salt treatments that destroy the streets. No, it's the ice. Maybe there's some combination, but it's the ice, isn't it? It's the water. Water is one of the most powerful forces in the world. We just underestimate it. You know, these little minor imperfections get in the street. They get a little minor imperfection, a little bit of crack. The water gets in there. It freezes. Boom. There it is. That's why you typically have a lot of this stuff right after winter and stuff. You know, the roads get a little bit bad, you know, right after winter because the ice gets in there, expands. Ice is a very powerful force. Like I know we didn't make concrete and asphalt and all these man-made ingredients, and we think we got Mother Earth licked. But man, listen, 200-300 years with no human involvement, the Earth would look completely different. You wouldn't even know we was ever here. But I know. Janice Wright says the salt, huh? I think maybe it's both. I thought it was the water. I thought it was the ice. Brent Rice is a combination. Tiffany Rice, everybody's saying it's the salt. I'm going to stand by what I said. I still think it's the ice. I'm going to stand by what I said. Maybe it's a combination of it. Maybe we're both right. Maybe we're both wrong. I don't know. Appreciate you. Let me jump back over to my folks on Spreaker and see what's up. Let me see here. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Angela writes, salutations. What's good with y'all? She's in the chop shop. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Hopefully, folks are adjusting accordingly. Gas, utilities, electricity, water and sewage, groceries. It's going to be a domino effect. Yeah, I mean, as somebody who, you know, is raising a family, we got 2 kids. One of them is a little boy. You know what that's like. We got all of the things. all of the things, the groceries, the travel expenses, summer camp. How many empty nesters miss paying for summer camp? You talking about $2,000, $1,500 on top. And don't go over to Whole Check. Don't like to shop at Whole Check. You go to Whole Check, like, I'm just going to pick me up a couple of berries and some grapes and maybe some potatoes. $75 for your organic eats. Get ready for it. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I'm doing well. Hold on one second, bro. I don't have you plugged into the masses. Hold on one second. Let me get you plugged in. All right, brother, you back on.
Good morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
It's Chris.
What up, Chris?
I may get a little bit on. I may be behind. I was on Facebook listening to you.
Okay.
But it's actually the salt. It may be a combination. I like the way you think with it freezing, but it's the salt because the salt actually dries out the blacktop, and that's what breaks it up.
So it dries it out, and then the water
it.
gets in there. It's a combination.
Right.
Then. Okay.
Right. Because, if you ever notice, like, blacktop is, it's mainly wet, and the heat and everything, and then all of a sudden, when it freezes, and then they throw the salt on it, which the chemicals in it will melt the salt, but also dry out the blacktop. You notice there's not a lot of cement. There's not a lot of cement roads that have the potholes. There's more blacktop laid roads that have mostly the big, huge potholes. That's what it is. It's not because if it was just the moisture, it'd be potholes all year long from the rain in the spring and everything else. Another thing, have you gotten together about with the finances? With the
our investment club
stuff.
With the investment club? No, I'll be reaching out to people. I got to check with the CPA to make sure that we can confirm a time. It'll probably be in the evening, so we can do a virtual conference call, and then after that, we'll see, who wants to be involved, and I'll let everybody know.
I don't check my email every day for everybody, but I've been checking it at least twice a week for you.
Okay, Chris.
For that email.
Okay, it's coming, brother, for sure.
All right. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Chris, want to make sure he told me that. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing a little investment club. It should be fun. And had to work out the kinks with the CPA. And so the next step is to set up a time for a virtual meeting. If you can't make it, what I'm hoping is a video be available and I can email it to you. Watch it at your leisure. But just to kind of talk about what the plan is. And it's a little bit different than what I originally had in mind, but I think it's better. And it'll be less complicated, less messy, and a bit more individualized so that, you can invest at your pace. Right? Now, we want to come up with a standard, but at the same time, we want people to invest at their pace. So I'm glad people are interested. I'm down with it. So that's what happened. So the salt dries out. We just won't listen to God. Look, all this man-made chemicals to dissolve ice, and then it impacts the environment and all this kind of stuff. Like in a perfect society, if you can't drive out of your driveway, then God is telling you to stay your ass at home. That's it. That's all. Have snowstorm, ice storm. You can't move your car. God is saying today work from home, period. But capitalism is what capitalism. You got to get to the donut shop to make the donuts. I get it. Good morning, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I see it's about a little bit after 10. That's my time this morning. I hope to be back and better than ever with you tomorrow morning. We'll chop it up on people, politics, and pleasure. Have an excellent rest of your Monday. Hopefully it's a momentous Monday, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nate Ivey, and I'm out.